We have come a long way from we had the qualifiers in South Africa. Then basically the Canadian cricket associated with the ICC have sent a lot of kids to different countries to get some experience. Like a lot of them were sent for South Africa to get some experience. Some of them were sent to Sri Lanka to get some experience. We ourselves went and spent some time in Caribbean, went to Dubai to get used to the situations. Naturally, there's a lot of money involved, and ICC has been helping us really in developing the cricket in Canada.
So what is the domestic structure like?
The domestic structure is basically you have naturally, like we don't have Ranji Trophy that we have here, but what we have is we call the states as provinces. So different provinces have their own leagues, and the performance in the leagues in the highest level is where you select the best team from the province. And we have the games either in Toronto or either in Calgary where there are turf wickets, and we have games and the people who are consistently performing are us, like just like Ranji Trophy, like Tamil Nadu and Karnataka, you play the games, and the people who perform. And actually, in schools, we as players of the Canadian team go to schools and develop, because a lot of people in Canada still don't understand what cricket is. So we go to schools so that we get it into the blood for the young children, and so that they are aware of what cricket is. And naturally, they are more interested in the version of T20s rather than 50 overs in test games.
Most of the associate countries, we see that the majority of the players are expats. So what steps can the ICC take to create more homegrown players?
Actually, if you see our side, for example, is best. Like we have like 4 to 5 under 19 guys who actually one was born in Canada, but others were like they migrated like 8, 10 years, 15 years back. They have the cricket in their blood, and naturally they, as under 19 coming and playing a World Cup, is a huge step for them and for the country, which means that we have a lot of youngsters who are knocking on the doors. And naturally cricket has been developing. It's gone a long way in Canada for sure.
What does that victory over Kenya does to Canadian cricket?
Naturally, we were looking for a win against Kenya. We were looking at a win against Zimbabwe too, but naturally we were not able to step up on the Zimbabwe game. And actually, in the Kenyan game, the most important thing to be noticed is where our batting game could. That's where I thought we were lacking, because we were not getting partnerships. We were getting players like getting 20, 25s and getting out. So naturally, it was a very good sight to see the batsmen stepping up to the music and getting good partnerships going. So hopefully, if they continue, then naturally the bowlers will always support them.
Now, your captain Ashish Bagai has said that since the ICC is restricting the next World Cup to just 10 teams, it shouldn't be that because for countries like Canada, it's like playing the Olympics. So what do you have to say about that?
Basically, getting the team to 10 is pretty unfortunate. Naturally, like teams like Canada, Ireland, Zimbabwe, I mean, naturally Zimbabwe isn't the full thing, but other teams like Scotland, UAE, Afghanistan, all these guys are playing really so hard so that they can make into the World Cup. And naturally, the fundings only come from this ICC and most of the countries if you qualify for the World Cup. It's very important, because if you just look at T20, my personal view as a spinner is you will be killing the art of spin. Because if you're just going to prepare these countries for T20s, there's no position for a spinner. If you play a 50 overs at least, a spinner, like in 50 overs you see different stages. Like initial power play, you see the batsman going after the bowling. From 15 to 30 overs, you see like a test match where the people just rotate the strike. So naturally when the spinners come in, he can try a few things. But in T20, before you blink, the game is done. So I think there should be more opportunities given to 50 overs for these teams. And I think there should be more exposure, which when I mean more exposure is just playing the qualifiers and coming into and playing all these big teams in the World Cup. Doesn't really make sense. If we were given more opportunity, like say for example, India going touring England, play a couple of one days in Canada, or invite Canada to play a couple of games in England, or if West Indies is going to England, get some games to Canada so that at least we'll know what standards to expect in that level.
One last question. You were playing in the Ranji Trophy, so what kind of memories do you have now coming back into the World Cup, playing for a different country?
Of course, I have lots of memories. Played Ranji Trophy for almost 6-7 years. Played for India A, played for India Pro Bulls. Played 4 years of India 19. Lots of memories, and I have lots of memories associated with this ground where I was able to get 7 wickets against England A. Alan Wells, Ian Salisbury, Dominic Cork, all these guys were from the English side, and I also played against the Australian side in I think in Brabon, where Brett Lee and all these guys that came with the under 19 side. So a lot of us, and my manager were from these countries. Like when we went to Australia and England, Sandeep Padal was the manager, Hunchman Gaikwad was the manager. A lot of things associated with Bombay and the love of cricket. Yeah.